All right, Cece, I'm going to ask what your reaction is to what Gordon said, but just listening to what he had to say, it's amazing to me that there are a handful, if not more, of athletes who can perform at such a high level, having done what they did to their bodies as far as substance abuse, and still perform at a peak level. It just absolutely blows my mind sometimes, especially when you hear the litany of things that he actually took. But what was your reaction with this?
I was heartbroken because the similarities to his story are just so similar to where my life would have gone. You know, if I hadn't made decisions, if I wouldn't have had coaches who didn't enable me but empowered me, if I didn't have doctors or counselors around me to encourage me to get some help, if I hadn't come to the realization earlier in my life compared to where Josh is right now. So it was not a good moment for me because it really put an emphasis on 27 years ago, before Josh was born, I decided to stop drinking and stop using cocaine. I was strung out on cocaine, crack cocaine. And that decision, what it's led me to, the life that I've been able to live, the family that I've been able to have, the impact it's had not only on my family, but my friends. And to see that he's finally coming to that realization where I'm not trying to say I was right, but when he first had an incident with Cleveland, I was probably the only person that said they should cut him right now. And Josh and I fell out over that. You know, he said, Cris Carter don't know me. He didn't reach out to me. He don't care about me. No, the reason why they should cut you is because I do care about you. And I know that was the only thing to make me stop smoking cocaine was Buddy Ryan releasing me from my job. And then that's when I realized the responsibility was on me to get myself some help. You know, so I have a tremendous amount of empathy for Josh Gordon. I know the life. Now, he can tell that to someone else, but I know the life. I know the demons. I know the torment. But I'm on the other side now. And I realize also the benefit of making good decisions and the power that the program gives you in your life. So I got 27 years, 20 days of sobriety. I got over 14,320,000 minutes. So hearing him talk about what he's been through, it just pains me because there haven't been a whole bunch of great stories in sports. Guys getting strung out and then getting it together. See, I believe in rehab. I believe in recovery. I believe that people with a second and a third chance, they can get their life turned around. I still believe in Josh Gordon. I hope the NFL team signs him. This guy is an amazing talent who has had a horrific upbringing, which trickled into his professional life that he is now trying to get under control. Like, if we care about Josh because he's clean, if we care, get a man a job. Let him work. Let him get some value out of the NFL, the same things that I got out from the NFL community. Because this is what we used to do in the NFL. We used to be able to take care of the people, not enable them, but empower them. Give the man a job. Let him get back to work. The NFL team, man, someone else is going to do it. Someone else is going to do exactly what Cris Carter did. And I'm hoping it's Josh Gordon.
Nick, there was a second part of this story, and that is that while Josh Gordon was at Baylor,
right, he
admitted to the fact that some of his coaches actually helped him hide some of his drug tests. Talk to us a little bit.
No, Chris's perspective is more important than mine on this one, but I do want to say this. I am incredibly liberal when it comes to adults using drugs. I'm a believer that I think if you're not operating machinery or handling huge sums of money, your job doesn't have a right to drug test you. If you've grown up and you smoke marijuana. That's always been my belief. And I've also always thought, man, a lot of college kids smoke weed. When I was in college, I smoked weed. Like, what's the problem? And then I heard Cris this morning get visibly angry about what went on at Baylor because, and I don't want to speak for you, but it was the start of a process that could have been maybe nipped in the bud earlier.
Yes.
And it has started to change my perspective. When you heard that the Baylor coaches, Baylor with their litany of issues, The Baylor coaches knew this guy was smoking a bunch of weed and just kept keeping him eligible. What was your reaction?
It's totally opposite of what a coach is there for, because it's not always about technique. And Josh's story is well chronicled. He didn't have a father in his life. Like, my football coaches, they were father figures to me. They taught me so many things. And breaking rules in the short way, like, they would have ruined my life. I'm so glad the coaches that I had. I'm talking about my Little League coach at 8 years old, Butch Johnson. My 7th grade basketball coach, George Kennerly. My high school football coach, Bill Conley. He decided, not my mother, not my brothers, my high school coach, because I trusted him with my life. He decided I was going to go to Ohio State because I trusted him in everything, and he made the hard decisions for me. He made me stop playing basketball. So he helped me make some of the most important decisions in my life, and to see that Josh, he didn't have that, and what a huge disadvantage and a disservice it is being a coach who is also a parent and a teacher.
I'm fascinated by the fact that this was the second part of the story, what went on at Baylor. And I'm curious, as someone who played in a big college program, is this something that is rampant in college football? Or is this something coaches do? Do we know that this happens at other places?
It happens at other places. Yes, they're kids. They're kids that we get in the National Football League, and people say, well, why in the heck are you guys allowing all those problems? Well, these are the kids we're inheriting. We inherit the principles that are instilled in them through high school. Josh had his high school coach. He enabled him. Then he went to a college, which some of us have, where they enable them. So, yes, this is a system that players are helped out, and coaches do things to bend the rules to get them on the field.
And for a lot of guys, it stops at weed. For a lot of guys, for a lot of guys, it's not a huge deal.
Right. And the thing with, like your liberal approach, like, that's great. But everyone's not meant to be that way. Like, I can't have a drink. It's not like I don't want to drink. I can't drink. God didn't make me where I can accept alcohol into my body and be able to respond well. So everyone doesn't have that inside them. We are born with the disease. It has been proven genetically. So I understand your opinion, but there's us on the other side. Like, when it comes into our life, nothing but disaster happens afterwards.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.